Hey everybody, welcome to another presentation of Strat-O-Matic Baseball. A couple of things I wanted to mention that I didn't mention in the little unboxing video. I did not realize that actually with the rules that came with the game there were some additions made from previous versions. And they're on the back 2 pages of the rule book. But, everything else in the rule book is pretty standard. But then when you get to the last 2 pages, there is a injury chart and personalized injury for pitchers, which previously was just on a roster sheet for the 2015 set, but now they've included it in the rule book, so you have it for easy use. You don't have to worry about trying to keep up with a little piece of paper. And they also have a defensive shift rule, which obviously is optional. I don't know if I'd want to delve into that. I mean, possibly at some point maybe, but it's not really my bag. I don't really care for the shift in baseball, but I did want to mention that they are in the rule book. So if you do happen to get a new Strat rule book at any point in time, these 2 items will be in there. Of course, my main project that I want to get started again here very shortly is the 1977 Chicago White Sox replay. Get their final game against the Kansas City Royals. I believe we're up to game 21 now, so certainly want to kick that into high gear. But also what I'm doing, to the side of that, and the reason why I bought the 2018 set to begin with, was I wanted to do a 10-team league, 54-game schedule. Pretty much, I just call it the Tenacious thing, because Tenacious Earl is the, in my mind, is the author of that. He's the one that thought it up, dreamed it up, came up with it, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's excellent to do. And I've always been an as-played guy, playing season replays, but this gives me a chance to kind of delve into something a little bit different. I've tried it in a couple different methods. I've tried the Grade 8 or Grateful 8. I've tried the Demo Dozens, but 10 teams seems to be, to me, the, for lack of a better term, and not to borrow a term for payoff pitch, but the wheelhouse for this. So I think 10 teams works perfectly. The first game on my schedule is coming up. It's the Washington Nationals against the Detroit Tigers. And the scheduling I took also from Tenacious Earl, basically using the hexagon method. And he's done videos on that, so if you're curious, go back and watch his Tenacious Earl videos, Tenacious Strat videos on how to do the scheduling. Basically, it's each week represents a 3-game series, so 10 teams. You play the other teams 9 times each, or the other 9 teams 6 times each, 3 at home, 3 on the road. So what I did is use that little hexagon, got the first 9 weeks, so that you're playing the other 9 teams in your league, and then week 10 through week 18 is just taking the first 9 weeks and flipping the home and away. You can see here New York, Toronto. New York's at Toronto in week 1. Well, in week 10, Toronto's at New York. Same thing, Washington's at Detroit in week 1. Well, in week 10, it's going to be Detroit at Washington. So you just flip those. And I think it's a very neat little tidy system to use. I am using iScore to score the games. I'm scoring them on paper, but for the ones I play online, I'm scoring them on paper. Then I'll transfer them over to iScore. Ones I do offline will be simply iScore only. And then I can always print out the box scores and so forth. What I've also got here is broken down day by day. I did another thing that Tenacious did. I believe he started in May 1, so I thought that was good enough to start. Now, I don't know how he does. I don't remember how he did off days. I just kind of threw in some off days periodically. But what I've got here is the first 3-game series right here. And the pitching matchups. I've rated the pitchers. Who I thought the number 1, 2, and 3 pitchers are, 4 and 5, 5-man rotation. So down here at the bottom, in the 5th game, you've got some of the lesser pitchers pitching, and then on the next time up, you're going to have the main guys coming back, and then put an off day in here or there to make it seem like a flow of a schedule. And I think on Earls, he did it where he staggered it, where not everybody was playing on the same day, but for simplicity's sake, I just went ahead and went this way. I do have the 2017 set on Strat PC, and I guess I could use that to manually do these, and just move the players around and so forth, but I think it'll be easier for me just to either keep it on paper or in iScore or both. So just wanted to put those little things out there. And of course the White Sox replay will be coming up after this as well. I'm not going to do very many videos on this particular little project. It's kind of just something I want to do on my own for my own enjoyment and just to get away from everything. But as I mentioned the other day, I don't recall anybody playing a game of Cards and Dice Strat-O-Matic 2018 on a video yet. So if I'm the first, then yeehaw. But anyway, that's what I plan on doing. And if you remember in the Strat video, Strat changed their dice color to blue. The traditional red is now blue, but those things were so small you could hardly see them, at least not me. I'm 54 years old, so my vision's not the best. So I'm going with the blue dice, but they're going to be a much bigger size. Now we'll keep the white D20 that came with it, but the blue dice and the white die are going to be what I call normal size or much bigger size. All right, so let's look at the pitching matchups that I've prearranged. And the fun thing about this too is creating a lineup. I had to sit down and think, who do I want to lead off? Who do I want to hit second? Who do I want to hit third? Who's pitching? So I'm so used to being like a robot and just doing the automatic, well, this is the exact plays lineup. So this is kind of making me think a little bit more, which I really enjoy as well. And injuries will be involved, and rest days will be involved. So that's another part of this that really, intrigues me and piques my interest. So opening day, so to speak, for lack of a better term, Washington, Detroit. And pitching for the Tigers will be Matt Boyd. He will get the start on opening day for them. And in 2018, he was only 9-13, but he did throw 170 innings, so he's kind of like their ace, for lack of a better term. So Matt Boyd will get the start. And for the Nationals, returning to Comerica Park after a long way away with the Nationals is Max Scherzer. And in 2018, he was 18-7 with a 2.53 ERA. Notice the 300 strikeouts in just 221 innings. So as you can imagine, his card is loaded with strikeouts, although he does get dinged up in column 6 a little bit on both sides. So let's go through the starting lineups, and I had to really think when I was making these up, how do I want these lineups to go? Detroit is starting a lefty, so I'm going to bench Adam Eaton right off the bat. And Trey Turner is going to be the leadoff man for the Nationals, playing shortstop. Howie Kendricks at second. He will bat second. Bryce Harper is in right. He will hit third. Hitting cleanup will be the third baseman, Anthony Rendon. Hitting fifth is the DH, Daniel Murphy, because we are using the DH because we are in American League Park. If this was in Washington, there would be no DH. So Murphy's the DH hitting fifth. Ryan Zimmerman's at first base hitting sixth. Batting seventh is left fielder Juan Soto. Hitting eighth and catching is Pedro Severino. And batting ninth in center field is Michael Taylor. So those are the Nationals starting 9. And now for the Tigers, and it's a little bit harder to do the Tigers because honestly some of these guys I'm not that familiar with. Leonys Martin will lead off in center field. Victor Martinez, the DH, will bat second. Miguel Cabrera at first base will hit third. Hitting cleanup, and he's not a very good fielder, but I already got one DH, you can't have two, is Nick Castellanos. He's a 5 rated right fielder. So he will bat cleanup. And I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy's name. I think it's Jamar Candelario. He will hit fifth and play third base. Jose Iglesias will hit sixth and play short. Nico Goodrum will bat seventh and play second base. Hitting eighth is a catcher, James McCann. And batting ninth and playing left field, usually a center fielder, but today he's in left field, and that being Jacoby Jones. Why is this? I don't know why the focus is not too good on this. Hopefully that will get better. Anyway, Jacoby Jones is in left field. All right, so we'll bring our score sheet together, and this is going to be advanced only. No ballpark effects, no clutch, no D20 roll every 5 seconds. This is strictly going to be using the advanced fielding, advanced everything, advanced base stealing. So I really got to keep the rule book handy because especially the advanced base stealing, I got to remember what factors to use and so forth. They don't have to get to jump anymore; they can just go when they want. But there are factors involved as far as how to do the ratings on that. So with that in mind, I'll keep that very close and handy. So when I need it, I'll pull it right out. But for right now, it's going to be, let me lower this a little bit so we can get the score sheet in line here. It'll be Trey Turner against Matt Boyd. And this little, I don't even have a name for it, and I don't think I need a name for it. Like I said, this is all really Tenacious Earl. It's his brainchild, so I'm just going along for the ride and hope to have some fun with it. No timetable when I'm going to finish it, just on my leisure. And like I said, most games are going to be offline, but decided to do the first one online just to mainly show the 2018 cards. And we are set to go. Trey Turner stepping in the box. He is a AA Steeler, so in the advanced game, that really gives him a good advantage. He'll be a 1-17, then we'll have to check, the adjustments for the catcher and so forth. So right now, it is Trey Turner to lead off against Matt Boyd, and we're underway 4-8. And a 4-8 off of Boyd is a pop-up to short. And Trey Turner is retired, and that's what you want to do if you're Detroit. Keep the speedy Turner off the bases. Here's Howie Kendrick. A 1-7 against a lefty. Ground ball to second. Almost got that 1-6, would have been a plus injury. And we would have had to check for injury right away, but a 1-7 is just a simple ground ball to second. So 2 away. So always got to be cognizant of the injury result. And also, the other thing I forgot to mention is pitcher injuries. So we need to check and see Matt Boyd. In fact, I'll do that after this inning. I'll put a pause on it and pull the roster sheet out because I forgot to see what Matt Boyd's injury rating is. I'm pretty sure Scherzer is a 0 because he had 33 starts. Boyd, I'm not so sure about. It's probably have to be a 6-12 to be an injury check, but we'll verify that. Right now, here is Bryce Harper, lefty on lefty. 3-2 is a fly ball to center, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Nationals here in the first off of Matt Boyd. And their hitting woes in 2018 are coming up to bite them again here in this little mini league. All right, so Max Scherzer will be taking on Leonis Martin. See what Martin can do against Scherzer. 4-2 for Scherzer, and that is a strikeout. Not surprising. Scherzer gets a strikeout on the first at bat. Here's Victor Martinez. That's a 1-6, and he's going to pop it up to short. Handled by Trey Turner. 2 down, so nobody's gotten the ball to the infield yet. Here's Miguel Cabrera. 6-4, and that's another strikeout. Column 6, a little dangerous here for Scherzer, but 6-4 is in fact a strikeout. And you can see right here, he's got some home run stuff going on here, but 6-4 is a strikeout. And that's going to end the top, or the bottom of the first, rather. So 3 up, 3 down on both sides of the house. Go to second. No score. I'm going to pause the video, get the roster sheet out, and double check the pitcher injury. And I'm going to need it for bullpen guys anyway. So we pause. Well, actually, I can't pause the video because I'm doing this through the YouTube app, and there is no pause button. It's only a stop button. So let me just do this to the side while you're being somewhat entertained or somewhat not entertained by the score sheet. And I will go ahead and set Matt Boyd up to face Anthony Rendon, so you can check out Rendon's card while you wait. Not that that's the most exciting thing in the world to do. Alright, so let's get the roster sheet out. And we have that now for the Nationals. Max Scherzer. Scherzer is a 0, so he cannot get hurt. And for Detroit, Boyd is a 1, so that means a 6-12, because as I mentioned earlier, those factors are in the rule book, at the end of the rule book. And when you're a 1, that's a 6-12. So if we roll a 6-12, if any Nationals batter rolls a 6-12, then Boyd will be subject to an injury check. All right, now that's out of the way. Let's get going here at the top of the second. Anthony Rendon against Boyd. 6-9. Ooh, came close. 6-12 would have been an injury check. 6-9, though, well, he might get injured in his ego. That's a 1-15 home run, and Rendon has normal power. So 1-15, and Rendon has gone yard. 16 through 20 will still be a double. That's a 14, so it is gone. Home run, Anthony Rendon. So his first at bat of the season, he takes Boyd yard, and the Nationals lead it 1-0. Here's Daniel Murphy, 4-6 against a lefty. It's a strikeout for Boyd, so he comes back with a strikeout. 1 away. That'll bring up Ryan Zimmerman, kind of Mr. National. 6'9", it's the same thing that Rendon got. So, again, Boyd made a bad pitch. Zimmerman naturally is normal against lefties, so 1-15 will be another home run. And it's a 19, so it'll be a double. So, missed the home run chance as it rolled off the score sheet there, but I'm playing it as it lies. And it's a double. So here's Juan Soto. And note, we're not rolling D20s on this pitch now with people on base. We can just keep it going here. Maybe expedite things. 5-4. 5-4 against a lefty is a ground ball third base X. So again, not going to roll all the dice. We're just going to roll the D20 and see if we're in the range or the error range. And the third baseman in this case is Candelario. And he is a 4. A 4 and an 8. And in case I'm sure everybody's already seen this, but I'll show it anyway. 4 and an 8. So since we got an 8, 8 means when you go to 6-14, you come down here for error check. Otherwise, it'd be a range check, but now we're in error check. Candelario is E12, so we're going to roll the 2 dice for the E12. And roll a 5, so we check the E12 and a 5, and it is a 1 base error on Candelario. So E5, and that will move Zimmerman to third. And Soto reaches on the E5. So Candelario boots that one. Puts runners at the corners with only 1 out. Soto is a C stealer, so he's going to hold. He's not going to go anywhere. He will be held, but he's not going to try to steal. Here is Pedro Severino, 6-6, and that's a strikeout. Out number 2. And that'll bring up Michael A. Taylor, center fielder, 3-4 against a lefty. Ground ball to short. If we were playing super advanced, it'd be a ballpark check, but we're not doing that. It's simply a ground ball to short here in the advanced world. And that's good enough for us. So the Nationals strike for a run on the Anthony Rendon homer. And we go to the bottom of the second. It is 1-0 Nats. And that'll bring up for the Tigers, Nick Castellanos. We get a 1-6 for Castellanos. That's a split chance. 1-12 is a single. 13-20 is a line out. That's a 20, so he's going to line it to Rendon. Rendon with the range over there and makes the play. Brings up Jamar Candelario. And that is a 2-5. 2-5 is a walk. So first base runner allowed by Scherzer, and it will be a walk. He's a D stealer, so he's not going anywhere. He will be held, though. We're holding anybody other than the E stealer. That's the only ones that aren't getting held. Iglesias 2-7. That's a 1-2 single. Anything else, he lines to Rendon again. And he does. So Rendon busy over there. 2 down for Nico Goodrum. 1-9 for Goodrum. A 1's a double. Anything else will be a fly to left. And that's a fly to left. Soto puts it away. And the inning is over. So the Tigers come up empty. We go to the third. 1-0 Nats. And that'll send us back to Mr. Boyd. He's got a fatigue rating of 6. Scherzer has a fatigue rating of 7. So good to go for a few innings at least. Here's Trey Turner, top of the order. 2-3 for Turner, and that's a solid single. Remember, there is no ballpark check, so that doesn't come into play. And Turner is definitely a threat to steal. So we'll do some calculations. He's a double-A stealer. Means he starts as a 17. The catcher, McCann's a -2. That drops him to a 15. But then, looking in the book, rule book, under the advanced stealing. And remember, I have to do the advanced because I'm so used to doing super advanced. The advanced stealing, when you're a double-A stealer, you also have -2. So we've got the -2 from being held, the -2 from McCann, makes a -4. Take it away from the 17, makes it a 13. So a 1-13, and Trey Turner will make it. And he does. So Trey Turner steals second base. Gets himself into scoring position for the number 2 man, Howie Kendrick. Turner, of course, being held at second. 4, 7. 1 to 3 is a single. Anything else will be a line out to third. And that's exactly what it is. Line out smoke to third, but handled by Mr. Candelario. 1 away. Brings up Bryce Harper. 4-6, and he will strike out. So Harper, 0 for 2 to start out his little mini project season. Here's Anthony Rendon. He homered last time. 4-8. 4-8. He's going to pop to short. And so this time Boyd gets the better of him. And the Nats are gone despite that leadoff single and stolen base. Nothing else comes of it. And then we go to the bottom of the third. It is the Tigers 1. I'm sorry, the Nationals 1 and the Tigers nothing. Scherzer back out. So far seemingly in control. And here's James McCann, catcher. 2-5 for McCann, and McCann. He can do it. It's a 1 to 11 for a double. 12 to 20 is a single. It'll be the first hit for the Tigers. Either way. It's a 14, so it's a single, but still their first base hit, so it breaks the ice. He is an E-stealer, so he will not be held. He will not be held. Here's Jacoby Jones. 1-6. That's a ground ball third base. Hey, that's a 5-4-3 double play. So maybe we should have bunted. In hindsight, maybe that was a better way to go, but he's a deep bunter, so that may not have been good either. So not a whole lot of options there. Here's Leonis Martin, 2-8, struck him out. And Scherzer makes quick work of the Tigers. So he's enjoying his old haunts. So we go to the fourth. Still 1-0 Nats. And Mr. Boyd go back out there to face Daniel Murphy, DH. 3-3 against the lefty, and he's going to ground to first. 1 away, handled over there by Miggy. 1 away, here's Ryan Zimmerman, doubled his first trip. 5-6, this time he will fly to right. Tried to go the opposite way, didn't work. 2 up, 2 down, here's Juan Soto, reached on the error his first trip. 6-6, he will go down on strikes. So Boyd trying to match Scherzer as best he can. And except for the home run by Rendon, he pretty much has held his own. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 1-0 Nats. Scherzer back out. We'll be facing Victor Martinez, the DH. Popped to short his first trip. 2-6. He's going to line it right to Zimmerman. 1 away. And here's Miggy. 5-8. He will strike out just like he did the first time. So 2 whiffs for Mr. Cabrera, and here's Castellanos. 5-9, that's a ground ball to short. And a very easy inning for Mr. Mad Max. That's going to end the inning. We go to the fifth. Still 1-0, so pitching duel has broken out here at Comerica Park, although we're not using ballpark effects. So that has nothing to do with it, just a good pitching. Here's Severino. 3-6, and he's going to strike out. I almost read it. I did read it off the right-hand side, but against the left-hand side, it's the same thing. So I got to remember against Boyd. You look at the blue. Boyd Blue. That should be easy to remember. Boyd Blue. Little Boyd Blue. Go blow your horn. 4-9. 4-9 is a walk. So now Michael Taylor's on board, and he may be looking to run. In fact, I'm sure he is. He's an A-stealer, which means he starts as a 15. We already know Can's a -2, and he's a -2 for being held. Drops that to an 11. So 1 to an 11, he's going to give it a go anyway. And he makes it. So a stolen base, 2 stolen bases for the Nationals. Is Taylor with a 1-out steal gets into scoring position for Trey Turner. He will again be held at second. Turner 3-7 against the lefty. Ground ball to third. That's going to freeze the runner. As Taylor will have to hold at second, out number 2. And now it's down to Howie Kendrick. 4-9, and that's another walk for Boyd. 2 walks in the inning, puts 2 on with 2 out, and Look who's coming up, Mr. Bryce. Is the Bryce right? 5'3", ground ball pitcher X. He's a 4E17, so he's a 4 on the advanced chart. And that's a 6, so we're going to the error chart for pitchers. And he is an E17. That's a 4. So an E17 and a 4 is a one base error. So one base error on Boyd, and that's going to load the bases. Bases are now loaded for Rendon, who's already homered for the only run of the game. Now bases loaded. Big pressure situation for Boyd. Can he shake off the walk and the error? 6-11. He just missed. He just missed getting injured, but he didn't miss this 6-11 in-home run chance. That is a grand slam for Anthony Rendon. All the runs will be unearned, but 5 ribbies now for Rendon. He's driven in all the runs. His second home run of the game. If we were playing super advanced, it'd be a ballpark check, but we're not doing that, so it's simply the in-home run will stand. And Mr. Rendon is announcing his presence with authority, as Nuke Lelouch would say. And the Nats now lead it comfortably 5-0. And what was a great outing for Boyd has now become very mediocre. Here's Daniel Murphy, 3-11. That's a line out to short to end the inning, so might not be much longer for Mr. Boyd, as he has given up the grand salami. And Mad Max is really appreciating Rendon with those 5 RBIs and 2 home runs. So Mad Max takes the big lead with him to the mound. Start the bottom of the 5th against Candelario. It'll be Candelario, McCann, and Jones. 3-11. 3-11, we just missed being injured. 3-11, simply a strikeout. So, again, only his ego was injured with that strikeout. Although I think nowadays that doesn't even bother most players to strike out. They do it so often it couldn't bother them. If it bothered them, then they wouldn't strike out as much. Here's Iglesias, 1-4. That's a pop out to second. Out number 2. Here's Nico Goodrum, 2-5, and that's another strikeout. So Mad Max, large and in charge, as the Nats now lead at 5-0 after 5. Bullpen activity for the Tigers, certainly looming. And this is the point of weakness inning for Matt Boyd. So Tigers bullpen, let's look at their right-handers. That's who they was bringing in next. Will be a right-hander. And it looks like Mr. Buck Farmer is loosening in the bullpen. So he's set to be the next pitcher for the Tigers. But Boyd's going to try to get through the 6th if possible. Here's Zimmerman, 1-4. Ground ball back to Boyd. 1 away. Zimmerman, a lot of hits in column 1, but not that one. Here's Soto. 1-10. And that's a home run for Soto. It's a diamond shot, but in advance you don't do the diamond shot. It's simply a home run. And quite honestly, Comerica Park might have been taking some of these home runs away if we were playing super advanced, but we're not. And now Boyd has reached this point of weakness because he's given up 6 runs. And that's going to be all for Boyd. He's going to have to leave after 5 1/3. So his day, he got bit by the gopher ball on 3 occasions. So Boyd goes 5 1/3, facing 25 batters. He's given up, let's see, all 4 runs here were unearned because of the error. So total now of 6 runs, but only 2 were earned. But that's a small consolation. 3 home runs, so he really got bit by the gopher ball. Let's see here, walks and strikeouts. 2 walks, both in the same inning. That really hurt him, preceding the home run. Strikeouts, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strikeouts. So the final line on Boyd, oh, gotta get the hits in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only got him for 5 hits. Okay, so the final line for Boyd, 5 1/3, 25 batters faced, 5 hits, 6 runs, 2 earned, 3 homers, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and of course is on the hook to have the loss. Buck Farmer in his 18 season was 3-4 with a 4.15 ERA, 69 innings pitched, 67 hits. Did have one start, but was primarily a relief pitcher. So Mr. Farmer, a righty, will be on to face right-hander Pedro Severino. 2-7 for Severino. He flies to center. That's out number 2 for Michael Taylor. 3-6 for Taylor. He strikes out. And that's going to end the inning. But another run on the books, or on the board rather, thanks to Juan Soto and his homer. So it's 6-0 Nationals as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Max Scherzer cruising. We'll be taking on James McCann. 4-6 for McCann. That's a strikeout. Scherzer just dominating here. Only giving up one hit so far. Jacoby Jones, 5-4, is a catcher X. That is Severino, and Severino is a 2. And that's an 8. So a 2 and an 8 for the catcher. 2 and 8 is a pop-up. So simply a pop-up. And there's 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Leonis Martin. 6-3 for Martin is a ground ball to second. Easy inning again for Scherzer. Probably going to cap Scherzer at 8 innings. I don't know if I'm going to let him go all 9 in the first game. We'll see how it plays out. Right now, Buck Farmer going to go back out there. He only faced 2 batters in the top half of the 6th, so he's good for a couple more batters, I would think. Trey Turner, 5'10" rather. Ground ball shortstop X, and that is Iglesias. He's a 1. So a 1 and a 19. That's definitely a good play. Don't even have to check it any further. Turner, 1 shortstop grounds to the other. 1 away, and here's Howie Kendrick. 3-4 for Kendrick, and he is hit by the pitch. So after all those home runs, we finally got a hit batter. That's kind of a long time coming. I thought that would be more prevalent early on, but Kendrick's the E-stealer. They're not going to hold him, plus to what the score is. 4-7 is a walk to Bryce Harper. So a little bit of control issues now for Farmer, as he's hit a batter and walked a batter. And here's the dangerous Rendon. 2 home runs already. 3-8 for Rendon. He's going to line to second. That's out number 2. Both runners get back. And we go to Daniel Murphy. 5-7. Ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Goodrum. He's a 3. 3 and a 16 is a good play. And that will end the inning. So that's going to do it for Farmer. He goes an inning and 2/3. Faces 7 batters. Gives up no hits. No runs. He did hit a batter and he walked a batter. And 1 strikeout. So the Tigers will now go to their bullpen again for the top of the 8th. And we'll figure out who that is based on the next inning. For the Nationals is probably a right-hander again. So I think we're looking at... We are looking at Drew Verhagen. So Drew Verhagen will be the new pitcher for the Tigers in the top of the 8th. Right now it is Mr. Scherzer. 7th inning stretch is complete. Scherzer back out to face Victor Martinez. 1-9 for Victor Martinez. He grounds it back to Scherzer. Easy play. 1 away. And if I look at the score sheet, the only ball that's left the infield is a single by McCann. Everything else is either a pop-up, a line-out, or a strikeout, or in this case, a ground-out. So a couple of ground-outs. So nothing's really, no outfielders have had a play in this game. Here's Cabrera, 6'10", and that's a fly ball center field X. As soon as I say that, it's a fly ball center field X. Michael A. Taylor, he's a 1 in center. And it's a good thing that's a 2, but a 1 and a 2 is a fly ball out. So good play there by Taylor. If that was a lesser center fielder, that would have dropped in, but not with Taylor out there. 2 down for Nick Castellanos. 2-8. And that's a single, so we got a second hit of the game for the Tigers. As Castellanos gets a 2-out single. Brings up Candelario. 5-6, switch hitter batting left. 5-6 is a strikeout. And Mad Max still has it going here through 7. It is a 6-0 Nationals lead. And I think they might go ahead and cap that for Mad Max. He went 7 strong, and on the first game of the season, or the tournament, I'm kind of simulating it like it's opening day, so don't want to stretch him out too far. Plus they got a 6-0 lead, so even their shaky bullpen should be able to hold that. So we're going to cap Mad Max at 7 innings pitched. He faced all of 23 batters, gave up 2 hits, no runs. Let's check his, well, he walked 1. Let's total up the strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts in 7 innings. And the new pitcher is going to be Wander Suero. Will be coming in for the Nationals to pitch here in the 8th inning. Right now in the 8th, it's Verhagen, the new pitcher, facing Zimmerman, Soto, and Severino. 5-6 off of Verhagen is a walk. Not a good way to start. That'll bring up Juan Soto. 6-7. And let me check and make sure. I don't think Verhagen has a 6-7 injury rating, but we'll just double check this to make sure. Not missing it. Verhagen's a 3. He's got a 3 next to his name. And a 3 means the injury check is a 6-10. So it has to be a 6-10 to be an injury check, not a 6-7. 6-7 against the lefty, though, is a single to right field. And with such a lead as it is, Zimmerman will just kind of take it to second and hold there. No reason to push anything. Here is Severino. 2-6 for Severino, and he will walk, and that's going to load the bases. So Verhagen, not what the doctor ordered here. The bases are now loaded for Michael Taylor and nobody out. 1-4. Whoa, and Taylor has a chance to win another grand salami. Look at this. 1-10 will be a grand slam. 11-20 will still clear the bases. So it gets from bad to worse for Verhagen. It's a 20, so it's only a triple. Only in quotes. Only a triple for Michael A. Taylor as that clears the bases of all national base runners. It is now 9-0, and we will get a new pitcher. Verhagen couldn't get anybody out, so he didn't go anywhere. He gave up 2 hits and walked 2, and so far he's given up 3 runs in just 4 batters faced. So now they will go to another member of their bullpen, and it will be Louis Coleman. Louis Coleman. Louis Coleman is on. And of course the infield will be in to try to cut that runoff. Not that it really matters at this point. Coleman. 6'8". Let me make sure, see what his injury factor is. I don't think it's a 6'8". Coleman, his injury factor for the Tigers is a 1. So that's be a 6'12" to be an injury. So this is 6'8" will be fine. Except 6'8's a walk, and that's going to put runners on the corners. Still nobody out, and Trey Turner is not going anywhere, up 9-0. They will not do that. All right, Howie Kendrick, the DH, is up. In fact, we'll have a pinch hitter for Howie. We'll get another bat in the lineup. So let's get another national a chance to bat. And it will be Brian Goodwin. We'll let Brian Goodwin pinch hit, and he will stay in the game to be DH. Oh, I'm sorry. It's second baseman. I can't do that. It'll have to be Wilmer Defoe. Because I forgot Kendrick is at second, not at DH. So Wilmer Defoe will be the pinch hitter for Kendrick. And he will stay in the game also to play second base. In the 8th inning, he is a 3, E5. So better defender than Kendrick, obviously. And plus you get him in that bat. So Coleman against Defoe, runners on the corners, nobody out. 6-7. Defoe's a switch everybody left. Another walk. And the bases are loaded. Will we ever get out of the 8th inning? Bases are loaded again. Still nobody out for Bryce Harper. Can it go from bad to worse for the Tigers? 4-9 against the lefty. Ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Iglesias. They'd like to turn 2 here if possible. A 1 and a 5 I think will do it. Let's take a peek-ski here. A 1 and a 5. They were at double play depth. They'll give up the run. A 1 and a 5 is a ground ball A, so they will get the 6-4-3 double play. But the run will score as Taylor crosses the plate. No RBI for Harper. And Turner goes to third. But at least they get 2 big outs there. It is now 10-0. Favor the Nats. It is now the 8th man to bat in the inning. Anthony Rendon steps to the plate. 5-9, struck him out to end the inning. So finally they get out of it, but not before the bases loaded triple by Taylor, plus a double play ground out, brings in another 4 runs. It is now 10-0, favor of the Nationals. I think I said 9-0 by mistake. It's actually 10-0. And now we'll get a new pitcher for the Nationals, and it will be Wander Suero. Suero on the season, 4.1, 3.59 ERA. So Wander Suero is on. Facing, let's get Coleman out of there. He's not going to face Coleman. He's going to face Jose Iglesias. Might as well be Julio Iglesias at this point. Here's Jose. 3-6. Jose, can you see a double? Possibly 1-17 would be that double. 18-20 would be simply a single. It's a double, so how about that? Scherzer comes out of the game, and all of a sudden the Tigers start hitting. Here's Nico Goodrum, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. 5-8, and that's Suero's going to give up another biggie. Look at this, 1-12 is a triple, 13-20 is a double. So it's a double, back-to-back doubles, and the Tigers are on the board, cutting the lead to 10-1. So Dave Martinez may not want to stick with Suero too long if he's going to keep this up. In fact, he's probably swearing at Suero right now. Here's James McCann. 6-3 is a fly ball left field X. That's Soto. And Soto is a 3 as a left fielder. 3 and a 4. That could be trouble. That might very well drop for a base hit. Let's see what the chart has to say. A 3 and a 4. And that's going to be another double. Look at that, 2 stars on that double. So with the runner at second, he's going to score on that double regardless how many stars there were. So Suero has given up 3 consecutive doubles. How do you like that? And here's Jacoby Jones. 3-7, struck him out. Finally got an out there. 1 away, but the bullpen for the Nationals is busy, as they don't leave Suero in there too long. 6-2, fly ball to left. That's going to be out number 2. So maybe Suero is settling in a little bit. Here's Victor Martinez. 2-8, pops up to short. That's going to end the inning. But Tigers finally get on the board with 2 of their own. We go to the 9th. It is Washington 10 and Detroit 2. And that's going to be all for Suero. He's going to do his 1 inning. He's going to be gone. Coleman, I believe, let's see, he's going to stay in there. He only faced 4 batters, so he's going to stay in there. He's already pitched 1 inning. He's going for 2 innings. Daniel Murphy is the DH, but I think he's going to get called back because they want to get another batter in there to hit. So this time it will be Brian Goodwin. So Brian Goodwin will hit. And then Zimmerman will be replaced by Matt Adams as well. So when the score gets like this, you can kind of clean the bench. Or clear the bench and give people a chance to play. Get them some action. So Goodwin's going to stay in, it's going to be the DH. It's 9th inning, so only at that anyway. So here's Brian Goodwin. And on the season, before he got traded to Kansas City, 200 average and 65 at bats. So good time to use him when it's a blowout. 6-3 against the lefty. And he's going to get a single off of Coleman's card, so keeping it up, Mr. Goodwin, with a leadoff single. And now, it won't be Zimmerman, it will be Mr. Matt Adams. So Matt Adams, and he will stay in the game to play first base after this. But Matt Adams, the lefty, is on. 1-8. 1-8 is a, oh, I'm looking at 2-8. 1-8 is a strikeout. 2-8 would have been better for him, but 1-8 is a strikeout, which is probably better for us because it'll get the game over quicker. Here's Juan Soto. 4-7. That's a strikeout. So Coleman coming back with a couple of strikeouts. He has one more out to get out of this disaster, and that's Pedro Severino, the catcher. 6-7, and he's going to walk him. He's going to keep the inning going, and it's going to allow Michael Taylor to get an at-bat again after tripling with the bases loaded last time. Let's see what Taylor does. 4-5. Ground ball to third. It's going to finally end the inning. No runs in this particular inning, so Coleman goes 2 innings. Does not allow any runs. But Verhagen, all 4 runs are charged to him. So a rough outing for Verhagen as he walked 2. Didn't strike anybody out. Losing pitcher is going to be Boyd. The winner is going to be Scherzer. We kind of know that already. I think that's not going out on too far of a limb. So 9 batters faced, and he gave up 2 walks, 3 walks, and a single. So a lot of walks issued by Tiger pitching. They end up issuing 8 walks in the game. And he struck out 3. Struck out 9, but they issued 8 walks. So that was not good. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th. Suero had a rough inning, 1 inning pitched, faced 6 batters, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, all earned. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 1. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last at bat for the Tigers. And the new pitcher for the Nationals will be, let's see, Miguel Cabrera is going to lead things off. It's 3 right-handers, so that's the way they're going with their bullpen, is right-handed. So it will be Sean Kelly. So Sean Kelly is on. And Kelly, I'll knock my pen over. Kelly, 1-0 with a 3.34 ERA and 32 innings pitched before moving on to Oakland. All right, so here's Sean Kelly to face Cabrera, bottom of the 9th. 6-12, you know what, this might be an injury check. We'll see. Kelly, let's see what his rating is. Kelly is, where are you, Mr. Kelly? He is a 2. So a 2, I believe he's going to miss that. I believe a 2 is an 11. So 6-11 is actually the error, so he missed it. So 6-11 would be an error. 6-12 is a pitcher X. He's a 3-E0, so he can't make an error, but so really there's no point, almost no point in rolling this. Well, there's a 1. It could drop. It could be a base hit. That's why you roll it. And a 3 and a 1 will be a single. So that's why we do roll it. Even though it couldn't be an error, it could be a single, which it was, as he had a hard time getting to that ball. Here's Castellanos. 5-9 for Castellanos as a fly to center. That's out number 1, rather. That'll bring up Candelario. 1-4 for Candelario. He's going to ground it back to Kelly, who will throw for the force. 1-6, fielder's choice. And now the final out coming up, potentially, Jose Iglesias stepping to the plate. I don't know if the Tigers have anybody on the bench they would care to pinch hit with. Probably not. No, they don't really have a whole lot on their bench, so they might as well go with Iglesias. 1-4. He's going to pop to second, and the ball game is over. So 10-2, the score for the Nationals in the first game of this little 54-team or 10-team 54-game mini league schedule project, whatever you want to call it, in advanced only. Kelly finished up 1 inning, gave up a hit, and that was it. Didn't walk anybody, didn't strike anybody out. So let's get the totals. Total of 6 hits for the Tigers, and for the Nationals they total 7 hits. So that tells you about what's going on there. 10 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Nationals, as the Tigers committed an error. In fact, they committed 2 errors, actually. 2 errors, and they also issued 8 walks. So very sloppy game there. Left on base, the Nationals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They left 8 on base. And the Tigers left 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 left on base. So all unofficial until I it's going kind of fast. But anyway, that's the final in the ball game. Nationals win it 10-2. 10 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 8 left for the Nationals. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, and 4 left for the Tigers. Winning pitcher was Max Scherzer. He goes to 1-0. And the loser, Matt Boyd, drops to 0-1. And of course, in a 10-2 game, there was no save. So hopefully you appreciate, or you enjoyed, almost said appreciate, that would have been a dumb thing to say. Hopefully you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Advanced. And I'm going to be flipping between Advanced and Super Advanced, because I'm going back now to the White Sox 77 replay, which will be fully Super Advanced as usual. And I've got my very sturdy Super Advanced boards, which I really love, and looking forward to using those. Great investment there if you play Super Advanced, in my opinion, because the other ones were so kind of flimsy. So that's it from here. Hope you enjoyed that, and till next time, as usual, I will see you all down the road.